In our previous lessons, we talked about choosing the right short-term rental strategy for your market, understanding your numbers, and preparing your property. Today, we're going to talk about something that can determine whether your property stays booked or it stays empty. We'll be talking about booking platforms. Now, most people hear short-term rentals and they immediately think Airbnb. Now, Airbnb is important, but it's not the entire short-term rental industry. Airbnb is one distribution channel. Vrbo is another distribution channel. Booking.com is another distribution channel. Your own direct booking website can eventually become another distribution channel, such as mine at guestbookings.com. That's GES bookings.com. So your property is the product and your business is the brand. The platforms are simply places to where customers can discover and purchase your product. Let me say that again. Your property is the product. Your business is the brand. The platform is the marketplace. The distinction is important because too many new hosts build an Airbnb account, but they never build a short-term rental business. They allow one company to control all of their visibility, all of their reservations, and all of their income. If that platform changes its algorithm, suspends the listing, changes the fee structure, or experiences a technical problem, the host's entire business can come to a stop. That's not diversification, that's dependence. The long-term goal is not to abandon Airbnb. The goal is to understand Airbnb, use it correctly, and gradually build additional channels around it. Today, I'm going to show you how to start with what I call the big three. That's Airbnb, Vrbo, and Bookings.com. We will discuss the direct booking and the technology that connects everything. By the end of this lesson, you should know where to begin, which platform to launch first, how to create a professional listing, how to position the same property differently on each platform, how to prevent double bookings, which tools you need now, and which tools can wait until your business grows. The lesson is not about signing up for every piece of software you see. This is about building the right system at the right time. Now write this down. Do not build a complicated business before you have built a profitable business. We're going to start simple, but we're going to start correctly. Understanding the platform ecosystem. Let us begin by understanding what each platform does. Airbnb is often the first platform new hosts use because it has a strong customer recognition, a large variety of property types, and a booking experience that many travelers understand. You may find solo travelers, couples, business travelers, families, weekend travelers, monthly stay guests, people attending events, people relocating, guests looking for unique experiences. Airbnb can work for a private room. It can work for an apartment, even a condominium, a house, a cabin. I've stayed in one in Denver. Now, you want to qualify your accommodation depending on the platform's rules and local regulations. Airbnb's host fee should no longer be taught as a universally being only 3%. Under Airbnb's split fee structure, most hosts pay approximately 3% under a single fee structure. Most hosts can pay approximately 15.5% with rates generally ranging from 14% to 16%. The single fee structure applies to certain hosts, including many software-connected hosts and traditional hospitality listing. That distinction matters. A host who believes that the cost will always be 3% can seriously underestimate expenses. Students, write this beside Airbnb right now. Verify your actual fee structure before setting your prices. Do not use somebody else's screenshot. Do not use an old YouTube video. Look inside your own account and review the fee structure that it applies to your listing. Vrbo. Vrbo is especially valuable for private home rentals. Now, it often appeals to families who want to stay together with no shared rooms, group traveling together, vacation home guests, reunion travelers, guests booking longer vacations, travelers who want kitchens, and multiple bedrooms and private living spaces. Vrbo does not generally support shared or short term rentals. The guest rentals area must provide a private experience required by Vrbo's policies. That makes Vrbo particularly a natural fit for people who have a 3-bedroom house or a 4-room vacation home, different cabins, beach houses, lakefront houses, large family properties, and properties that are designed for group travel. Under Vrbo's pay per booking model, the structure fee is currently includes around a 5% commission and a 3% payment processing fee. Software connected listings may have different payment processing arrangements. Vrbo, which also states new parameters, generally cannot opt into their older subscription model. Now, it remains available only for eligible accounts already using it. So when you hear someone say, like Vrbo only costs 5%, understand that they may be leaving out the processing portion. Booking.com. Booking.com gives hosts access to travelers who are accustomed to booking hotels, apartments, and vacation rentals through a global travel marketplace. It can be helpful for international travelers, business travelers, last minute reservations, travelers accustomed to hotel style bookings. Now, guests comparing hotels and vacation rentals in the same search. Properties in cities, tourist destinations, and high traffic markets. Booking.com operates on a commission based model, but the exact commission is not automatically 15% for every property. Booking.com says that the rate depends on factors such as the property's country, the property type, and accommodation agreement. Hosts can view their exact rate during registration in their contract. For classroom planning, we may use 15% as working as an estimate, but you know that this is only an estimate and that rate is not guaranteed. Your actual contract controls your direct booking, and direct booking means that the guest reserves through your own website or booking system rather than through online travel agencies. Direct booking often is best for repeat guests, referrals, corporate clients, insurance housing clients, relocation stays, traveling professionals, guests who you already know and trust your company. You do not normally pay Airbnb or Vrbo or Booking a commission on a true direct reservation. So this is how you build up your business and their repeat guests. Now, however, direct bookings are not completely free. You still may pay for credit card processing, such as Stripe, website hosting, booking software, your own advertising, insurance, your fraud prevention, guest screening, your electronic agreements, your property management system. So the benefit is that you have greater control over the customer relationship and you can build repeat business under your own brand. Now, here's an updated platform overview. Platform often best for general fee structure, Airbnb, broad customer reach, and multiple traveler fee types is a single host fee commonly around 15.5%. Vrbo family groups and private vacation homes commonly around 5% commission plus a 3% processing under pay per booking. Now, Booking.com, international business and hotel style travelers commission varies by property, market, and contract. Direct bookings, repeat guests, referrals, and corporate relationships, no OTA commission, but processing and operation costs still remain, so keep that in mind. Now, Airbnb helps people discover you. Vrbo helps family groups find you. Booking.com places you beside hotels and other accommodations. Direct bookings help you retain the relationship. The platforms should work together. They should not compete against one another inside your operation. Now, let's go inside my operation and let's look around. Setting up Airbnb properly. Let us walk through how to build your Airbnb listing properly. Airbnb allows hosts to create a listing through the host section of their account. Hosts must completely identify verification, and newly published listings may take up to approximately 72 hours to appear in search results. Do not rush through this process. A poorly constructed listing can create poor expectations, poor reservations, and poor reviews. Before operating an Airbnb, you should already have your listing foundation prepared. Step 1. Confirm that you have permission before publishing anything. Confirm first. The property is legally permitted to operate, and your lease allows short-term rentals if you are renting. Your landlord has provided any required rental authorization. Your condominium or homeowners association permits the activity. You understand local licensing regulations. You understand occupancy and parking restrictions. You have the appropriate insurance. You understand applicable taxes. Your property is safe and ready for guests. Do not create the listing first, then ask permission later. That's how you get evicted. This is not a business strategy. This is gambling with your investment. If you're using rental arbitrage, your permission should be in writing. A verbal statement such as, "I think," should be fine. It's not the foundation on which you want to spend thousands of dollars on. Step 2. Create a business-ready account when possible. Use a professional email address, a reliable telephone number, a clear profile photograph, accurate legal information, a dedicated payout account, a complete host biography. Your profile contributes to trust. Guests are not only evaluating the property, they are evaluating the person or company responsible for the stay. Your biography should briefly communicate who you are, your relationship to the area, your hospitality views, what type of experience you want to provide, what guests can trust you. Step 3. Identify the property correctly. Airbnb will ask questions. So the property type, whether it's an entire place, a private room, or another permitted arrangement, the number of guests that can stay there, total number of bedrooms, beds, baths, the correct address, amenities, safety equipment, and please be accurate because they do follow-ups. If the property has 2 bedrooms and a sofa bed, don't describe it as a 3-bedroom property. If the second sleeping arrangement does not have a privacy and feature of a legal bedroom, do not misrepresent it. Accuracy protects your reviews. Accuracy also protects the guest experience. Remember, making guests get the reservations. Accuracy protects the reviews. Step 4. Building a strong photo story. Your photographers are one of the most important parts of the listing. Guests usually see the image before they read the description. Your first 5 photographs should communicate the property's greatest strength. Your lead photograph should not necessarily be the first photograph you took. It should be the image most likely to make the right guest stop scrolling. Depending on your property, that could be an impressive living room, a beautiful ocean view, a swimming pool, a luxury kitchen, a dynamic bedroom, a balcony view, even a theater room or a lake view. A unique design feature, like all of those things really help attract the guests. For example, if you have a signature amenity, such as I have a rooftop pool, that's something that I actually show first. Another listing, I have my balcony because it's over Atlantic Station and you can see the entire Atlantic Station. So I make sure that I provide something that really catches the guest's attention. So do not upload nearly 15 identical pictures of this living room. So every photograph should answer a question. What does the bedroom look like? Where will I work? How many people can sit at the table? Is there parking? Is the bathroom updated? Does the balcony have furniture? Is there a private pool or is it shared? Use captions to clarify what the guest is seeing. And please make sure the property actually looks like the pictures when the guest arrives. Do not photograph temporarily decorations that will not be available. Do not mislead angles and hide the size of the room. Do not heavily alter the view. Professional photography should improve the presentation, not create deception. Step 5. Create a search-friendly title. Your title should communicate your value quickly. Do not waste the title on generic language. A weak title may say something like beautiful home in Atlanta. That tells the guest very little. Now, a strong title may say spacious Atlanta retreat with pool and theater, or downtown condo with ocean view and balcony. Make a difference? Or you could say something like family friendly, 4-bedroom home near attractions. A simple title formula is property advantage plus location or experience plus major amenity. So examples are luxury downtown condo with ocean views, family lake house with dock and game room, modern business suite near convention center, private retreat with pool, theater, and hot tub. Use the hottest words to catch their attention. If the property is not truly luxurious, don't call it luxury. If the ocean is not visible, only when someone leans over the corner of the balcony to look, do not lead with a panoramic ocean view. Strong marketing and honest expectations have to exist together. Step 6. Write a description that answers questions. Your description should help the right guest imagine the stay. Begin with the experience. For example, welcome to your private Atlanta retreat, designed for families, business travelers, and small groups who want space, comfort, and convenient access to the city. Then explain the property layout, sleeping arrangements, major amenities, location advantages, parking, building or community access, important limitations, who's the property best suited for. A strong description is not just a list of furniture. Do not write, the unit has a couch, 2 chairs, 3 beds, 4 lamps, and a refrigerator. Turn the feature into benefits. Instead, say, an open living room area gives your group space to relax, while the dedicated working area makes it easy to handle business between activities. See the difference? The bed is the feature. A comfortable night of sleeping is the benefit. The desk is the feature. A quiet place to work is the benefit. The full kitchen is the feature. The ability to prepare meals and reduce dining expenses is the benefit. Sell the result, not only the object. Step 7. Complete every reveal amenity. Amenities can affect search visibility and booking decisions. Review the property carefully. Potential amenities include Wi-Fi, dedicated workspace, washer and dryer, air conditioning, heating, parking, kitchen, pool, hot tub, gym, balcony, crib, high chair, television, streaming service, coffee maker, irons, hair dryer, outdoor seating, grill, smoke alarm, carbon monoxide alarm, fire extinguisher, first aid supplies. Only selecting amenities that are actually available. Did I give you a good list of amenities there? Because you need a lot of those things to start your business. So if you advertise a pool, explain whether it's private or shared, if it's seasonal or heated, is it salt or chlorine, available during specific hours, or is it temporarily unavailable? A guest may choose the property because of one particular amenity. And if that amenity is missing, it can affect the entire stay and it will affect your reviews. Number 8. Establish clear house rules. Your house rules should protect the property without sounding hostile. It is so important that you address such issues as your maximum occupancy. And when they go over, you charge the registered guests, the visitors. How many can they have? Can they have parties or events? Is smoking allowed? Are pets allowed? What is your pet fee? Does your county have city ordinance for quiet hours? Can people come in and do photography? Is there a pool and amenity access? So the rules should always be clear. They should be protecting you, and they should be enforceable, consistent with platform policies that should be disclosed before the booking. That's why you got to have a security deposit. As you establish your house rules, here are some things that are very important. Your maximum occupancy. Okay, so for this house right here, I set it for 10 people because it has 5 beds inside. So that means 2 people per bed, right? And anytime a guest goes over my maximum occupancy, I set a price. Generally, it's around $20 to $25 per additional person. Unless it's a holiday, I may even make it $35 to $40. So those things are very important. You don't want to miss your money. So that's why if they don't tell you, it's imperative that you have a refundable security deposit in place. So depending on the guest, I set my minimum security deposit for this property at $300. So if a person has extra guests, then I pull from the security deposit. Registered guests and visitors, they should communicate that with you if they're going to have more visitors than the number of people that you have allowed, especially if they're going to have a party. Let me be transparent. Sometimes you're going to have those guests who are going to book your property just to have a party or either a small social gathering. Now, it's great when they tell you, but some won't. Some may try to slide it under the radar. So that's why one of the things I've done to eliminate or to narrow down parties is I stopped doing one-day booking rentals. People that are looking for one day, and especially if they're in the same city, oh, they about to do something. Either if it's not romantic, a lot of the times they booking your property to have a party for one day in and out and flip you the bill, right? So, and sometimes that's not all the case. You have to be careful renting to young people. I hate to say it, but you got to make sure that you have a higher security deposit set in place. For example, I had a mannerable young man. He was young, about 21, and said he wanted to have a party here with some of his friends. So I agreed. However, I set my security deposit at $1,000 and he paid it. And he booked the property for 3 nights. I agreed to allow him to have one night and have his party. Oh, he did have a party, but he also had another party a second night as well, right? 2 of the nights they had parties and they left the place pretty messy. So you know what? He lost his entire $1,000 refundable security deposit. But I presented that to him in the rules and it was up front. It wasn't a sneak security deposit. I explained everything up front. So as you're doing rules, your guests should know everything up front about how you operate. So that way you're less likely to receive a chargeback or you have something to sustain if they go up to Airbnb and say, hey, he kept my deposit unjustly. Also, pets is a big one. Let me tell you this. Your house cleaners will hate pets. Why? Because it's extra pet fur that they got to clean up in every corner and every crevice. So I don't allow pets in my properties. However, if you have a pet in my property, I have a pet fee. It is in the rules and I will charge you. Let's say it's $50 per night, not per stay. I charge it per night to keep it high to let people know that there's penalties if you sneak your little dog or your cat in here and against my rules or you didn't read the rules. Now let's talk about quiet hours. Now, some communities are different. So I do rental arbitrage at a mansion out in Rockdale County. So in Rockdale County, they actually have quiet hours. So they have what they call a noise ordinance. So with the noise ordinance is at 10 p.m. So I let guests know who are having parties there because people book this mansion for events because it has a pool, it has a bar right by the pool, and it's sitting on 2 acres, and there's a lake in the backyard. So it's perfect for events. But after 10 o'clock, the neighbor is tripping if he can hear the DJ. So sometimes he has called the police. So I have to let guests know, like, hey, there's a noise ordinance at 10. You got to put the DJ inside if the party goes past 10. So those are upfront things you have to share with the guests, because if you don't, it'll cost you a bad review. Now, your check-in and check-out times. Generally, hotels do 3 p.m. I do 4 p.m. because I'm not a hotel and I don't have a big staff to turn around rooms like that. So I generally do 4 p.m. to give myself a little extra time. And if I can do a 3 p.m. check-in or earlier, I will. But please believe if I do an earlier check-in, if it's too early other than an hour, I will charge $25 per hour. The same for a late checkout. I'll give a complimentary late checkout to one I check them out at 11 a.m. But if you stay after 1, I'll charge $25 per hour. So that's generally how that works. So make sure that your rules are clear and precise so that they help protect you. I can't stress this enough, how your rules will help protect you, especially if you need to cancel a guest. For example, if you need to put an age limit, let's just say this property is 30 and up and you get someone 20 trying to book, it's your rules that will come in to protect you and then give you a backbone to enforce. And let's talk about intentionally pricing. This is very important. You must set a good base rate. So in order to do that, not only do you need to know your property, but you need to know what the market is around you. So one good way of finding that out is airdna.net, which will let you see your competitors' prices so you can get a good idea of what things are going for. But why it is so important to know your base rate and your weekend rate, because again, as I told you before, that is not profit because you have expenses. Even though you make $200 a night, you don't get to keep $200 a night. Because guess what? House cleaning, if you're making $200 a night, you might have to pay house cleaning 100 of that 200. Then you might be low on supplies. You might be low on Lysol, soap, toilet paper. So all of those come out of your overall costs. It may be time to pay your utility bills, your Netflix bill, right? Your streaming services. So a lot of those things come out of your expenses. So this is why it is very important to set a very good base rate, not too high to run off guests, but not too low to where you don't meet your supplies, because you want to set a goal for yourself that you're making profit at the end of the month. This is why your occupancy goal is very important, and you must set a desired price so that you can reach that goal. And let's talk about some of the amenities that are needed to run a successful Airbnb. There are some basic things that you really want, such as an ironing board, a hair dryer. Now, just those few things alone, people don't even think about. But you got to make sure that you have all of these things. So it's so much that goes along with Airbnb. I would suggest that you Google or pull up a checklist. I'm going to give you a checklist right now. Make sure that you have a kitchen in your property, right? Believe it or not, what property that was written arbitrage didn't even have a kitchen. We probably don't have no kitchen, but you want to have a kitchen. Right? You want to have, if you can have a crib or a high seat for children or for toddlers, that will make it a lot more family friendly. I would suggest that. You got to have TV. You got to have streaming services. You got to have a coffee maker. You must have an iron, like I said, a hair dryer. You must have outdoor seating. Grills are really good to have. Outside, I have a grill out there and I have a fire pit where people can sit around the fire pit. Now, my Miami property has some amazing amenities. So let me share those amenities. Actually, you can go downstairs and there's a gym there. So some people book properties because of the amenities. I know weightlifters or people who are fit experts, they won't book a property unless it's a gym. I know some people are traveling for vacation. They won't book a property unless there's a pool there. So my property has a rooftop pool with the area where you can get food and people bring you drinks, right? There's also a spa. That's also a major amenity at that property. And there's 2 restaurants. So as we're talking about amenities help to sell your property. Now, here's the thing. You can't just list amenities that you don't have. For example, my house has a fireplace. But what if you list that your house has a fireplace and it doesn't? Guess what? If they complain to Airbnb or Vrbo, they will subtract some money from you for that. And it could be a substantial amount. If the amenity is large enough, such as you claim that you have a pool and your pool is not functional, they may pull 50% of your daily rate from you. So you have to be very cautious about listing amenities that are not available or factually not there. Let's talk about some availability settings. Now, ask yourself whether your operation can support these things. Can your cleaner prepare the property after a same day booking. So what that means is, let's say your guest checks out on Thursday, but you also have a guest checking in on Thursday. Can your house cleaner be there? Because if the guest checks out at 11 a.m., the next guest is going to be checking in at 3 p.m. or 4. And especially if you have a large property such as this one, can your house cleaning staff do a same day turnaround? It's very important because one thing I know, guests hate to wait, especially after long travels. And I understand that some guests have been flying and been having layovers and then had to fly to get here. Or some guests have had long travels. Now imagine telling your guests after 4 o'clock, hey, I need till about 5:30. Can you wait before checking in because my house cleaning staff is not done? Things like that can put you off to a bad start and can also leave you with a bad review. So make sure that you're fully staffed and prepared to take on same day bookings, or just don't do them. It will save your review. Another thing, can you respond to a guest arriving late at night? What if the guest doesn't arrive until 12 midnight and you're asleep, right? I've had that happen plenty of times. So let me tell you what I do about that. I don't check guests in anymore. I used to meet every guest. Hey, let me get your license. I'm check you in. Nice to meet you. I don't do that anymore. Instead, I have a self check-in process. And here's how it works. Once the guest books, request their license front and back. And after I get their license, I will send them a welcome message that has all of the information that they need. It will have the property address. It will also have the Wi-Fi information, things that they may need to know, such as the check-in time and the checkout time. And most importantly, the door code. Now that's how you can do a remote booking. So if a guest checks in at 12 midnight, as long as they have the door code with proper instructions on how to use the door code, then they can enter. So the majority of my properties, about 90% of them, I use a locking system called Lockly. So Lockly will allow me to put in a guest's name and a code and set it and activate it from anywhere in the world. As long as there's Wi-Fi, I can activate it, and I can set the time and date that it starts, and I can set the time and date that it deactivates. So even after a certain time, it will automatically deactivate. I don't have to worry about going into the system and deactivating their code. So Lockly will help you to do an amazing self-check-in process. So find a door code that will allow you to automate this right on your cell phone. And also, you want to make sure that after house cleaning comes, that you can verify for yourself that the property is actually ready, especially on those same day check-ins. So even if you're remote, make sure that your house cleaning staff sends you pictures of every single room. That's the second best thing from actually being there in person. So at least you can visually see that it's done. And especially if your house cleaner has been with you for a while, you have built a rapport and trust, and you know that their work is good. So make sure that they send pictures so that you can actually verify that your property is ready to go. Because one thing or one mistake you never want to make is sending a guest inside a dirty property. It's happened to me once, but luckily it wasn't that dirty. But house cleaning oversight. But there's also software that will actually book your house cleaners for you, like Guestly and things like that, that will book it for you so it can know your schedule and send it over to house cleaning, and it will send notifications. Therefore, you don't ever have to forget to remind your house cleaner, because the less work that you have to do, the more it makes it like a business, right? And less of owner operated on you. Select a cancellation policy that matches. Make sure it matches your booking window. Make sure the cancellation policy matches your property type, your seasonality, your risk tolerance. Now, a strict policy may protect revenue, but it may reduce the number of travelers willing to book because they don't know sometimes. Now, a flexible policy will improve your conversion, but it can expose you to late cancellations, and there's nothing you'll be able to do about it. Now, there's no single policy that is correct for every property. The important point is to understand that policy before selecting it. Do not select a cancellation policy because its name sounds good. Read what happens when a guest canceled. Weeks before arrival, days before arrival, after check-in, during a long reservation. Make sure that cancellation works for you. I generally set mine on moderate. Set your pricing intentionally. Do not simply accept the first price. Suggest it to you without reviewing your market. You should understand your base rate, your weekend rate, your seasonal demand, event pricing, minimum profit rate, cleaning costs, platform fee, taxes, utility costs, supply costs, maintenance reserves, occupancy goal, desired profit, and your price must support the business. A fully occupied property can still lose money if it's priced incorrectly. Imagine that your nightly rate is $200. That doesn't mean you earn $200. You must account for your platform fees, your cleaning expense, because house cleaning gonna get half of that 200, right? If not all. Supplies, utilities, rent or mortgage, insurance, maintenance, taxes, and the software you might have got for it, and whatever labor, if anything, goes out. So you have to look at this as the revenue is not the same as profit. Let me repeat, revenue is not the same as profit. The goal is not to have the cheapest listing. The goal is to offer the strongest value at a profitable price. Keep your faith higher than your fear and your purpose stronger than your pain. And always remember, you can do this. Okay? So until next time, I'll see you on the next lesson.